What's up everyone? Let's talk about which new iPad 3rd generation version you should get. There are several choices to choose from. So the first thing is to determine whether you want a white one or a black one. I've had both and sometimes I just like a change. You know, my prior iPad 2 was a black one. This one's a white one. I like the white one, I like the black one. But as of right now, I prefer the white one. But it's just really a personal choice. It's just your preference. The next thing to determine is which storage size will suit you best. That one can be a little tough because it's hard to determine how much storage you might use in the future. My rule of thumb though is to choose a storage size 10 gigabytes above what you're using now. That will allow for future storage, future development. As apps get updated over time, sometimes they get bigger in size, when you update them in the App Store. And also you might add more media to your iPad in the future. So what you can do is you can look on the device, or you can go into iTunes and click on the device, click on your iPad, and it'll tell you how much storage is free and how much storage you're using. So you want to take that and add 10 gigabytes to it. So in my case, I was using just under 20 gigabytes on my old iPad 2. And so adding 10 gigabytes to that would give me 32 gigabytes. So 32 gigabytes was the ideal size for me. Now that being said, it really does depend on the type of user you are. If you, for instance, download a lot of movies or videos from the iTunes store, or also music, and keep them on your iPad, you're probably going to need more storage. I don't do a lot of that. I do mostly streaming, with Netflix and stuff like that. So I don't store my entire music library on my iPad. So I don't need, a heck of a lot of storage. So it just depends on what type of iPad user you are. But again, what you want to do is if you have an iPad now, go ahead and look and see how much storage you're currently using and just add 10 gigabytes to it. That way you'll be able to have enough storage for the future. The next thing to consider is whether you want to get just the Wi-Fi version or you want to get the one with 3G. Now that depends on how much you are going to be traveling. If you travel pretty frequently, it's pretty much a no-brainer. The one with 4G makes sense. Also, if you think that you might want to use the iPad as a 4G hotspot and share it with other devices, when you're traveling, then definitely get the 4G version. Now, I opted to get the Verizon 4G version because, yes, I do travel sometimes and I do like to have that mobile Wi-Fi hotspot, and especially at LTE speeds, it's really fast. If you just get the Wi-Fi version, be aware that you will not be able to connect to the internet to check your email, to browse the web, or even just to look up something online unless you have Wi-Fi. So if you're traveling around, it could be sometimes a little bit of a pain to find a Wi-Fi connection. You would maybe have to go to a cafe or something like that, but even so, sometimes cafes that say they have Wi-Fi have very flaky Wi-Fi and it's hard to get online and stuff like that. So that's something that you really might want to consider. The 4G on the new iPad 3rd generation is quite nice, quite fast, and just works really well. So then the next choice, at least here in the United States, is which one are you going to get? Are you going to get an AT&T one or are you going to get a Verizon one? Well, I opted for the Verizon one because as of this video, I really think that the Verizon LTE 4G network is a lot larger in the United States than AT&T's 4G HSPA, which is HSPA network. So that's certainly a plus for the Verizon version. Another reason to get the Verizon version is that currently the Verizon version of the new iPad is the only one that will allow you to use it as a mobile hotspot. So you can share your 4G internet connection from the iPad with up to 5 other Wi-Fi devices near you in your house or in your hotel room or whatever. You can also tether it to your computer and share the internet that way. And so it's really quite useful if you're traveling. So in my opinion, it's a no-brainer. I think the Verizon version wins. So those are the main choices that you should be thinking about when purchasing a new iPad 3rd generation. There are like 32 different combinations of iPads that you can get. And just for fun, I calculated out how much it would cost to buy every available version of the iPad, and it would be over $15,000, not including tax. So why not collect them all, huh?
One more thing, I forgot to mention that Apple will actually let you return your iPad with no restocking fee or any kind of fee if you would like to do so. They used to charge restocking fees, but they don't do that anymore, apparently, on the iPad. So if you've determined that you've purchased the wrong one or you would like to get a different one, and if it's within, I believe, 14 days, you can bring it back to an Apple store and they will let you exchange or return it. So that's just something to be aware of. And I think they'll even let you exchange or return it if you purchased it from another place like a Verizon store or AT&T store as well. So I think they're pretty good about that, and they don't charge restocking fees. So I just wanted to add that in. Take care.